welcome to another week of Double Cross Anime. This is week 46, which we will talk about episode 8 of Everything's and the last volume of Flower of Evils. So here with me is Whooper and I'm Mario.
Hi, everybody.
This is fairly early morning for Whooper and very late night for me.
Yeah, but next week we're going to fix all that because there's a holiday in Australia.
Oh, yeah, holiday in where I live, which is good. So
Right.
the only city that have been like the public holiday next week. Yay!
That must feel nice.
Yeah, that feel nice. All right, so which show you wanna start first, Whooper?
I don't know. You did the introduction this week. You can choose the show that we introduce first.
All right, I'm thinking most about Mob Psycho 100, so we can just go with that.
Okay.
All right, I think watching this episode of Mob Psycho 100, I'm just the only thinking that crossed my mind is that like you would be pleased to watch these episodes.
Yeah, it was great. I hope that
It's
wasn't
had
the
like
only thing that crossed your mind, like what someone else would think of it.
yeah, well, I while I was watching it, I was just like, oh my god, it's a lot of like slice of life of mob school life.
Yeah,
Whooper
there's
gonna love it.
there's lots of slices of life, and there's even a terribly like bitter slice of life at the end.
Oh wow, well that's right. That's one hell of a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Although
All
I
right.
don't think that his parents and brother are actually dead.
Well, I think at first that maybe that his parents. I don't think that his brother is dead, but you might be right. We don't know that for sure, but it's end on a really like harsh note.
Yes, for sure.
Brutal.
Oh yeah. I the reason I don't think that his parents are dead is because um, when Sho shows up at the door and he
Mm-hmm.
says your parents are here too. Well, this complicates things.
That's right.
I think what he means by that is he has to get another couple of bodies because I don't think those
Huh.
are his parents' bodies or his brother's body in the fire. I think that
Hmm.
the reason it got more complicated was because he had to get like two adult bodies in addition to a teenage one. Because all he's trying to
Hmm.
do, I think, is trigger Mob's, um, you know, his
To
alternate mode.
yep.
He'll probably want to hang on to his family members as, hostages or bait or leverage, whatever.
Yep, that's right. Well, that makes sense. But before we get into like that that ending, just like just go back to like the whole big portion of the episodes,
Right.
which is mob try just practice for hit marathon. So
Yeah.
we have like run up the wind over again.
Yeah, but
Do you like it?
yeah, I did. I don't know if it's exactly like Run with the Wind. It's one man or two, I guess, because Reagan kind of trains with him a little bit.
Yep.
I thought it was funny that um, at the start,
I
like before the
Yep.
midpoint, Mob was
Hmm.
actually outpacing Reagan, and then the little eye catch bit, that bridges
Yep.
the two sides of the commercial break, has
Yep.
Reagan doing like going through a training montage, sort of not a montage, but there's little snippets of him training,
Yep.
and then when he comes back, when Mob's actually running the race, he's like wearing shorts and a tank top, and he's like he's running with ease, and he's just applied like his jack of all trades
Yep.
philosophy to running, and all of a sudden he's a tremendous athlete. I like that about his character, that he does whatever
Adapt.
he adapts. He does whatever it takes to conquer the job that's at hand, like right in front of him.
Yeah. Well, another great thing about the episode is like everyone's in his mob friends trying to help him. one way or the other.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I think that's nice to see, like everyone just like have a very fun feeling of him trying to help him out, and Mob himself like really show that he determined to run by his own like physical ability, not like using on these of his or of his special ability to cheat the race.
Right. Yeah, Dimple offers to possess him
Yep.
during the
Yep.
race when it becomes clear that he's like kind of lagging behind. He's not going to come in the top 10,
Top 10.
which is the goal that he sets for himself before he, confesses his feelings to Subomi.
That's nice. And Shubumi like surprised me in this episode in more way than once,
Yeah, I
in a
she
good way.
I was not expecting her to display as much interest in Mob as she did.
That's right.
I was kind of taken aback by that, and even like the scene where she's about to call out to him while he's running.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I didn't really like what was the reason that she didn't end up saying like you
His
can do
name.
it, Mob, because she kind of like pulls her voice back.
Yep.
Why does she
Well,
do that?
um, I'm have the same thinking as well. Like it it it's for certain that she have some kind of interest to Mob, but I'm not really sure if it's come from um her liking to Mob.
Right.
So it's more about she curious about Mob, or like for whatever reason. I don't think it's like love interest that she have to a Mob.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I was predicting that she was gonna like be into
Use
Ritsu, the
yeah,
brother,
well,
because he's
mm,
he's like athletic and he gets good
smart.
grades in school. Yeah, and he's better looking, and that would be
Mm,
that would be terrible for Mob. Uh,
yeah,
that just seems like
well,
the kind of thing that a story would insert for drama or for
yeah, but
like,
for one thing though, she actually know about Mob's psychic ability.
yeah. Well, that's probably why she's interested in him. I mean, interested at like a base level.
Yep. Mm,
Um, but I guess the just that scene in particular, where I mean, she does go to the psychic's office with her friend who wants to get a romantic like reading,
yep.
um, and then she asks that question to kind of test his capabilities, and she sees the photo of Mob, and you can
Yep.
see that like the gears are turning in her head. She's thinking about one thing or another. But the scene where she like is gonna call out to Mob and say like "Ganbare" or
Yeah.
or
Mm,
whatever, just the fact that she pulls her voice back, I was. Um, is
kind
it
of
because
kind of
he's?
strange.
Yeah, I think it's because she sees that he's working so hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm not totally sure about that because he's like sweating and he's like gasping
Yep.
for breath and stuff.
And I actually really like the way that when she was in the in the room, she was actually like observing everything that have to do with Mob. So like she see all the picture, and actually she see the one picture that have Regan and Mob in there.
Right.
So she's really observant.
Yeah, I doubt that she went knowing that he was employed there. I think she just discovered that when she saw the picture.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, she was just being a good friend and going along, I guess, and
Yep.
making sure that the other girl didn't get scammed.
Yep.
That's nice.
And I also like the Risu impression of her. Like I'm not like he was thinking to himself that I'm not really uh I'm not I was taken aback by her as well because of the childhood memories where she just left in the middle of the game of the
Right.
hide and seek game.
Yeah, Ritsu doesn't have fond memories of playing with
Yeah,
her as a kid. That's kind of interesting.
yeah, it is interesting. So I want to see the deal then, or maybe she's like one of the member of the cult.
Oh, you think
That
she's wait, what cult? The Psycho Helmet religion or Claw?
yeah, that one, the psycho helmets something.
Gotcha. Yeah, we actually saw a bit from them. I think the episode opened with the Psycho Helmet religion
Yep, yep, yep.
because we saw at the end of an episode, like I don't know, 3 weeks ago or a month or something.
The first
Uh,
one, maybe.
no, I'm thinking of one kind of in the middle. Maybe episode
Yep,
5. It's the
yep.
one where they're all in the family restaurant. They're having that meeting, and you see on the computer screen like a little notification pops up of
Oh,
like uh, 500 million yen or something being deposited in their account.
huh.
Do you remember this?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Okay,
But yeah,
it was a very
uh,
like quiet moment. It just pops up on the computer screen. Nobody said like there isn't a line of dialogue about it. No character actually takes notice of it.
huh.
But they're having one of their meetings as they usually do in a restaurant, and then that pops up on a laptop screen. And so
Hmm.
now that they have all this cash from this anonymous donor, who is
Hmm.
probably like a member of Claw or
Yep.
somebody who's pulling strings from behind the scenes. Now that they have all this money, they've rented out like this massive auditorium, and they're kind of
Hmm.
expanding as a religion. And I
Yep.
wonder how they'll factor into the final few episodes.
That's right. I actually didn't like see Claw, the organization, coming at all. Like they have been absent for this second season. So I didn't really think that they would come back in a big way like this.
I don't know what makes me think this, but I think we were conditioned to expect them to reappear. Oh yes, it was because of the 2 episodes 4 and 5 where they do the exorcism on the
Yep.
daughter of
There
the
was a guy,
millionaire.
right?
Yeah, one of
Yep.
the guys from Claw, the guy who like keeps spirits locked up in those little canisters on his belt.
Right.
He
Right.
kind of helps them out. He like
Mm-hmm.
watches. He's got a scar on his face, I think, and he watches from the sidelines, and he helps. He even helps. I think Dimple get through
Yeah.
the barrier, like Mogami's barrier, so that he
Yeah, that's
can.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we
Yeah.
Claw's been like lurking in the shadows, I guess.
Hmm. Hmm. That makes more sense then.
But now they're not. They're definitely not in the shadows anymore.
Right. Wow, what a cliffhanger. I was just like when I was watching it, I was just, oh my god, what is that?
Yeah.
It have nothing to do, the toll have nothing to do with like what we have seen before. Like, in mob series, like even like in this episode.
Right. Well, I think what makes it more impactful at the end of this episode is that, for one thing, we show interrupts like a very domestic scene. The
Mm-hmm.
Their mom has decided to make something delicious for dinner because she's proud of both of
Oh,
her boys, and the dad has
yeah.
taken off work, so it makes it that much worse that Show comes and you know ostensibly murders the whole family, except for Mob.
I think this is the first time that we see like so many screen time of Mob's father and mother there.
Yeah, and yeah, I think
Uh,
that's definitely intentional because
yeah, that's right.
it makes you care more about their death.
Huh.
But for
So
another thing, I mean, it does contrast with the warm feeling at home. But for another thing, Mob has just failed. He didn't run the whole race. He only got like 9/10 of the way through or something, and then he passes out. So he doesn't achieve his goal, and he's feeling kind of dejected probably as he walks home.
I think personally he took it very well now, though. He took it loss. He took it, like passing out very well for me.
Yeah, I think he did outwardly, but don't you imagine that like since he set a goal for himself and
Yeah,
was really determined to do it on his own power, and that
that's
he like
right.
hinged his confession to Tsubomi on his performance,
Yep,
he was probably feeling a little bad about it,
yep.
like internally. And then he comes
When,
home and finds that his family has been burned to a crisp.
yep. When you hear the doorbell though, do you feel anything strange gonna happen?
No, no, I thought it was going to be Tsubomi,
Huh, right.
like
I
looking for Mob to see if he was okay or something.
Yeah, I definitely didn't think that was Mob because Mob wouldn't have drink his whole house. But I
Yeah.
do sense that something weird gonna happen. But I didn't really expect that.
Yeah,
which
that
is
was
nice.
it was shocking for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, based on what I know about Mob Psycho, the series, yes, I think I tend to agree with you that it might not be the parents and Risu that was burned to death. I wouldn't I wouldn't rule out that the cops is are mob parents though. They might be. I think like there was like 20 to 30% chances that they might be.
Okay.
But yeah, the next episode we're gonna see like how everything happened.
Yeah. Well, maybe not the next episode. We might not learn the fate of his family for a while. But I'm
Mm,
pretty sure that Claw is going to keep them alive to manipulate him further
right,
because they're
right.
they're dealing with like this question mark, this unknown entity that resides inside of him. So they need some sort of tool in order to control him.
Yep, 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 yep. Wow. But that was in the end that still was a very good episode of Mob Psycho 100. That was
Yeah,
great.
my it's personally it's my favorite since the first episode.
All right. Wow. Maybe it had to do with the slice of life mob with his school problems.
Yeah, I'm sure that it does, but I also really like the ending.
Hmm. Yep. Well, I think at this moment I can say that Mob Psycho 100 the series could do nothing wrong. Glad to say that though. I couldn't say this to many other shows out there.
It's got 5 episodes left. It can do all sorts of things wrong.
Yeah, let's wait and see. I hope I really hope not. That's not the case.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Uh, would you like to do the next show then?
Okay, sure.
All right, let's just go with Dololo.
All right, I wrote down almost nothing about this episode. I thought it was boring and
Well,
just really didn't care.
it does the thing that it usually does. That's the only thing that I can say. And to be honest, I'm not that fun with the way it usually tells stories. The,
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think that when it tells these one-off stories, they're usually okay.
yeah,
Just as, you know, as stories, they're fine. I like the concept, you know,
yeah.
the setting like feudal Japan or
All right.
whatever era of Japan it is. You know, I'm interested in that and the idea that someone has to get all their organs and their body parts, their limbs back by killing demons. That, you know, that's an interesting premise, but just the way that the show goes about it, like it's it just, you know, like its ugliness and like
All right.
Hyakimaru's non-character almost. Like
Well,
I don't know.
he tried to speak this week, and he
He said
actually say his companion name for the first time this week. So that make a role in his personal relationship with him, right?
yeah, I guess.
So
But it didn't make me like feel anything.
right.
I just casually noted it, like, oh, he said Dororo's name.
Nice. He said the name of the series. Nice.
He knows that he's in a TV show.
That's right. He knows that he's like the main protagonist of this series.
I
Oh,
apologize, Yakimaru. I'm sorry that you couldn't be like a character in Mob Psycho or something.
uh, all right. How you feel about the before we get into that, this is like another original story. Not I think this is not from the manga.
That was my assumption, but I didn't know for sure.
Um, Still though, I think if you see that like the this episode like thematically, it still fit with like the rest of the show. Um, I think like just from this episode as like an individual, it's still like of a really Dororo show episodes.
Okay.
It have like all the thing of Dororo has been doing now. They have like all the identity of Dororo. Not necessarily mean that it's good or it's entertaining, because it's just the kind of show that I'm really not not really into it myself.
So what are the characteristics of
All right.
Dororo?
Uh,
Like why do you say that it kind of falls in with all the other episodes? What about it is
all
so
right.
similar?
Let's say they have like the demon who like doing the evil things. We have like on the village like into like the crew, the crewness of the mall, like they trying to save themselves by sacrificing another. This usually like this Tudor stories have like some moral lessons. This is kind of have like the moral lesson as well.
What's
Usually
the
like
moral lesson of this episode?
well, like yeah, well, not this one. Let me think about this. For once, it say something about families dynamic. So like the two new character that we see in the episode aren't necessarily blood relative, but they see each other as like sister and brothers, and they are fun of
Yeah.
each other. I don't think that was they doing that very well though. But yeah, they that's like that is some of the theme that they trying to address.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, Hyakimaru and Dororo are kind of the same,
That's right. That's right.
maybe. Like they're kind of like brothers, or not really, but
Mhm.
they're sort of.
I think the law say Hyakimanu as like big brother or something.
Oh yeah, he
Aniki.
always calls him Aniki.
Yep.
Yeah, and Hyakimaru always calls him da da da. By
That's a
always, I mean one time.
all right. That's an improvement. Come on.
Yeah, he's doing his best. He's doing his best.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's
Uh,
smelling with his new nose that he got from killing that gigantic evil centipede demon,
yeah, 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 yeah.
which is good for him. He got a nose.
This time though, it's usually like Dodoro and with like a very sad note. This one though, it end in a happy note. So
It
like
usually ends on a sad note. I'm just thinking about last week when, like, Dororo doesn't kill the spider.
oh yeah, but I think the two of them die, right? Oh, they escape. All right.
Oh
I
yeah, I see. I see. Okay.
I think of the Mio's episodes
Yeah.
where like it was really cruel. It was end in very sad ways. This one though, I still see no reason why the girl who was like chewing who was like swallowed whole by the centipede uh by the monster and still end up alive.
Yeah. Well, I guess it just digests really slowly.
Oh, it's like snake.
Yeah. Maybe until the cloud disperses, until the cloud goes away for good. Like it doesn't swallow up any of
Huh.
its
But
victims. I
all
don't. I
right.
don't know.
Remember the first two victims, the two guys who was like was to chew alive.
Huh?
Remember like there were two guys.
Two guys.
Yeah, two of the bodyguard.
Oh, they didn't get swallowed, did they? Didn't they just run away,
Yeah,
or did they
well
get eaten?
they did get swallowed, and then they would chew, like part of their
Oh
body would
yes,
chew.
it chewed them up and spit them out. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and a bunch of their body was missing. Yeah,
yeah, that's
what's the
right.
deal? Why didn't it? Well,
Have no idea.
just so that they could have that little reunion, I guess.
Right. All right. Whatever.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. We're all about family here. We want the brother and sister uh, the unofficial brother and sister to stay together.
All right, I think this might have to do with how well we related to the characters, because I see that both you and me don't really related to any of the characters, new characters, and even Dodoro or Yakimasu themselves. So maybe that's why that we don't really think highly of this show.
I don't know. I just think it's bad. I think
Really?
it's
All
had
right.
yeah. I think it's had good episodes. I liked episode 3, the
Mm-hmm.
flashback to the doctor Jukai.
Yep, yep.
Um,
That was really good. Yes, I agree.
I thought the first episode was all right. I thought episodes 5 and 6 were okay. The ones with
Yep,
Mio and all the kids at the the rundown temple or whatever it was.
yep.
Um,
The rest.
yeah, the rest not so good. I mean, just feels like a second-rate series,
Hmm.
and it feels like
Even like,
the studio decides when to care about it and when not to.
all right. Even production wise, did you have any complaint about the production this time?
Yeah,
All
of
right.
course.
All
That's
right.
why I said it was ugly.
All right. If you have any example, would you mind to tell us about
Sure.
one prime example? All right.
I mean, the biggest example is the centipede,
All right.
the demon. I mean, that sort of thing is really, really difficult to animate.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're trying to animate something like a big, gigantic snake-like or centipede-like monster, an insect that kind of slithers, um, you should arrange your shots carefully. We shouldn't be getting all these wide shots really pulled back and seeing it like fly through the sky and stuff. I mean, that would be amazing
Mm-hmm.
if you could pull it off. But since you can't, you kind of need to go a little bit throwback. You need to have a bunch of close-ups on it with, streaking backgrounds to indicate speed. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like if your eyes are bigger than your stomach, if you try and do something that you can't. That's what happened here.
Yep. Yep.
And I mean,
Mm.
just the way, I don't know, like I I, I think all the characters. I'm really not fond of like the kind of sketchy line work that appears in some series these days, where the outlines of the characters are not totally continuous. Like
I
there are some gaps.
Yeah, I really like it though.
You like that?
I like the loose style of that, but not
Well,
in this show.
that's the thing. I don't feel as though it is loose. I feel as though it's kind of calculated. Like it doesn't feel sketchy. It feels like, you know, they just erased part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, at the very least in this show, I don't like it very much. And the I don't know. I don't need to say any more about it. Like I've complained about the visual style in the past enough.
All right. Do you like about the boy characters? A new boy.
I think
What's
it's cool that he wears the wolf skin
Yep.
because it emphasizes his rejection, I
Why?
guess, by humanity.
Right. Right.
That he identifies more with nature and the wild than he does with human society.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was cool. So I mean, that's such a major part of his design. I guess I liked his design. Yeah.
Mm. All right. I think I like him a bit. Yeah, based on his design and a bit on his backstory. But I still feel like the show doesn't give his characters much justice. They just speed up so fast, which like on this on the things he's have been through. That I don't really feel him as like a very developed character.
Yeah, well, that's kind of to be expected since he only has one episode.
That's
But
right.
there are other series that can do more with
That
one episode for one character.
that exactly right, because I was keep thinking of like shows like Mushishi or Cowboy Bebop, on how they have like only one episode and they do the right amount of developing their side characters, their one-off characters.
Right. Well, I think the difference between those two shows and this one is that Hyakimaru's journey
Mm-hmm.
is so central to this series that even when they're doing one of these one-off, perhaps anime original episodes,
Mm-hmm.
he still kind of makes his way to the center of it. Whereas Ginkgo and
Mm-hmm.
the crew of the Bebop,
Mm-hmm.
we learn about them more gradually. They
That's
are
right.
permitted to move to the side and give whatever new characters are being introduced the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So the shows are just structured differently.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I agree with what you say. I think that's why the Mio's two episodes, two, and even like episode three, are their best because of the way that they can develop these characters into some ones that we can care about.
Yep. Yeah, they're just Jukai is given plenty of time,
Mm-hmm.
plenty of screen time, plenty of time for us to learn about him. Same with Mio.
Yep, that's right.
But then these over here, you feel even though you understand that it's like Saru's story,
Mm-hmm.
it's about him trying to rescue and reunite with the woman who's cared for him in the past, who is like his link to humanity.
Yep,
At the same time, like, it's a Hyakimaru beats a demon episode,
and
as it always is.
getting his nose back so that he
Right,
can
yeah.
smell things.
Right.
Great.
It's an important trait.
All right, but yeah, but then again, like he keep getting many of his senses back. So like few episodes ago, he have his eyesight back, and then he get what his voice back. Now is his nose with his another sense back.
Yeah, he can hear as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yep.
So I don't know about his tongue, but he does eat, right? So
Yeah, he can say now. So I would say that his tongue is back.
I mean his sense of taste in particular. I wonder if he has
Ah,
that.
right, right.
But
Yeah.
I mean, since it's based on body parts and perhaps not senses, the
Uh-huh.
senses just accompany the body parts when they return.
Right.
Then you could probably already taste. I don't know.
Yeah. Well. I don't think the show itself care very much about that.
About taste?
About whether it's the body pack or like the sense that he get back.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm sure that's been thought about,
Mm,
but whatever.
yeah. All right. Next house. All right.
All right, what's next?
We will sell our favorite for last. So let's just do Promise Neverland.
Wait a minute.
Next.
Promise Neverland isn't your favorite of all time forever?
It it just lost out uh to the other shows. Wiz.
Oh,
So
okay. Wiz number one, Neverland number two,
that's right. And
everything else tied for last.
and very close with Promise Neverland is Shield Hero.
Right. You can't forget. Cannot forget Shield Hero.
All right. So Promise Neverland. Actually, I think the episode was good.
I thought it was. Oh, I'm sorry. Big yawn. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that this story run a bit slow. So we have like the we have little suspension, like especially in the first half.
Well, the first half is just a crone,
Yep.
all crone.
All right. Big
Sista crone.
Crone. All right, because when you really think about that though, why the hell that they try to kill Crone, and why the hell that they don't use her for something else? Like, remember what you said yesterday? I think she could do. They could use her for that,
For
for
making
reproduction.
babies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even for reproduction's purpose, or even like just put her into sister of any others.
No, she's
farm.
insane.
No, really?
Yes. All the weird, like, little jumping
I do
around
think that-
things that she does in her room
or-
when she's alone.
All right,
She's
I do think
crazy.
that every characters in Promise Neverland is are somewhat insane.
Not the kids.
All right, I think Isabella she just keep it to herself.
Yeah, but Crone is. I mean, the whole reason that Crone gets put to death is that she's too much of a wild card. She's
Right.
a thorn in Grandma's side. She's
Mm,
like a nuisance or an annoyance. I don't remember what term was used in the subtitles,
right.
but
Oh.
she's interfering. So that's why they kill her.
Hmm. That's sad for her though.
I
I
guess.
Yeah. Well, I remember reading the manga. I did feel sorry for her a bit when I watched this episodes. Did feel a bit sorry for her.
Well, you get all of her, backstory before she kicks the bucket. So
Yep.
that increases the sadness, I guess, because you see her as a child and you equate the what she's going through as an adult, perhaps, with what the kids are going through now, the main characters, because we know that she was one of them once.
Yep. That's right. Um, the second half though, they raise the stake where where it's revealed that Mama Isabella she want to control everything.
Well,
She
yeah,
pushed forwards.
yeah. That scene was strange to me. Like
Which one?
just the fact that she goes to catch all the kids, like to intercept the kids.
Right.
Um, and she breaks Emma's leg, and then
Yep.
she tells Norman, the day of your shipment is. Did she say that he was being shipped out tomorrow,
Uh,
or
I,
was she
I
just talking about? Um,
no, I think next time, not necessarily tomorrow,
okay,
but some when just like the time is really near. I think like in a few weeks or something.
yeah, and this like he is totally taken aback by this, as though he hadn't thought of the possibility, even though he's like the
Yeah.
mastermind and the strategic genius. And
Well,
he should
we
have been expecting this. Like, why is he so paralyzed with fear when she says that your shipment date has been set?
Yeah, but like I remember they used to say that it's Roy who was going to be shipped out, not Norman, right?
Yeah, previously.
So I don't really know like what is real and what is not anymore. It keeps changing, you know.
Well, what's real is that they're gonna be killed and eaten. Their brains are gonna be eaten by demons unless they escape.
Yep.
So with that in mind, they make an escape attempt, and then when she catches them and prevents it, she says, you're going to be shipped out soon. The date has been set. And he's like, like, what are you
Oh,
doing?
it's me. Well, I was expecting Emma gonna be the next.
I also the scene where he says like, okay, I'll stop being good.
Yep.
When she's like, just stop, just be good boys and girls, and just stop resisting. And he's like,
Right.
okay, I'll stop being good. And then they do that little dash.
Yep.
They both dash in opposite directions, and then like that whole scene where he busts out that cool line, that's immediately like cut off as soon as she. And then the other thing I don't understand about the scene is like she gives Norman that little bit of information, and then she picks up Emma and walks back
Yep.
to the house, and she
Yep.
just leaves the other four kids there. Why don't
No,
they
no.
just why don't they just go over the wall and escape?
Well, they have to follow her. I think like she did send the message that like if you oppose me, you're gonna be like Emma now, because she doesn't hesitate to break Emma's leg.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then this woman's dangerous, and you need to get away from her.
They
The
too
wall is right there. The rope they hid in the bushes. They can
all
go.
right.
They can get it.
They're too paralyzed to do anything else when
Yeah.
they see like Emma got her leg broken,
See, I
and
don't.
and you see like her leg snap.
Yeah,
Everyone would be scared. Everyone like in their 12 years old would be scared by that.
yeah, but they're the top scorers, Mario. They get the best grades. They should
Just
be able to process any situation because they got the best grades.
all right. I think because only two of them had the best score.
Best
Like
grades.
it's excluding Emma who has her leg broken. Right? He was too smart to like to do anything opposed to Mama right now. And I think for Norman, he was in love with Emma, so he was kind of
But we don't even see them follow her or anything. Like the show, in terms
right.
of placing its characters,
Yeah,
just leaves them there, and we follow Mama as she carries Emma. The other kids are nowhere in sight.
yeah.
I
That
don't.
was really bad of them. I agree. Well,
I just don't like. Wouldn't it be more? Wouldn't it kind of hammer home the point that they've been defeated for this round, if they're like trudging behind her, kind of looking dejected, looking at the ground, or like struggling to keep a positive face, to
uh,
pretend for all the other younger children? Like, wouldn't you want to do something like that, or did they just not want to animate four other bodies?
yeah. I think it just takes too much time to animate it for these characters, so they want to save their money for all the big scenes,
For more CG hallway scenes,
for more for more bone breaking scenes.
right? Is there going to be more bone breaking?
I
I'm
don't
ready.
know. I don't know.
Well, that's not true.
I'm not really sure. Like, I think like after this event, I think I was reading a bit more before I stopped. So it's me myself who doesn't know what's going on next, which is
Okay.
good.
Yeah, maybe that'll increase the enjoyment factor.
Maybe judging from you though, who doesn't read the manga and who doesn't really enjoy the story at all, maybe not.
No. I mean, the most interesting part of this episode to me was the first part, because you get to see
Cro-
Krone's backstory.
Yeah. Ooh.
Um, and I had one question about that, which
Yeah.
was, we see her get her neck tattoo after she's learned about the demons, which seems like it's backwards.
Oh, is
C-
it? Is it? Let's see. She get her neck tattoo after she saw the demons.
Yeah, we see a shot of
Oh,
her together with grandma, I think,
yep.
or whoever the mama of her house was,
Hmm.
and they're standing in that hallway, the brick one,
Yep.
the gate, I guess, to the outside world, and you see the silhouette of a demon in the foreground, and she's looking at it like
Mm.
confusedly, and
Mm.
then we flash back to the present, and there's some scenes of her like trying to escape, I guess,
Hmm.
because
Oh,
she's about to be killed, and then we flash back again to her getting the tattoo on her neck.
all right. All right. Past that scene, do you remember when Grandma told her, told Sister Crone about like if someone trying to escape, if if they can control it, that should be all right. And we have
Hmm.
like a little flashback of Grandma when she was a mama, and someone trying to escape. Was that Isabella?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I do think so as well.
That was a really interesting shot. Like, it
Mm.
was, she was standing on top of the
Of
of
the
the
world.
wall,
Yeah.
and it was snowing out,
Oh, all
and
right. Well,
grandma had her hand out, like beckoning her back.
yep.
That was interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. But
So I
yeah,
don't know what this is supposed to mean. Is like, because at one point during her, like, the scene with the children at the end, Isabel is like, "Oh, I really do love all of you, so I just want you to accept your death, quietly."
peacefully.
Yeah, and you'll have had a wonderful life with great food and a warm house.
All right. I'm not trying to compare between manga and anime again, but
But
in the
you are.
but I will. But in the in the manga, they do that scene. They do it more tactfully, because in the anime, just looking at her face, I can tell that she was lying. I can tell no, I can tell that she wasn't really like that much spend that much love to them.
Okay.
It was just heartless. That's the word I say. That the word
Well,
I think.
but what if it's really true? Because
Mhm.
we know based on the memory that grandma has of Isabella trying to escape,
Yep.
that she wanted freedom as a child.
That's right.
So if that's part of her character, then I mean, surely she hasn't become like a total slave to the demons and, thinks that it's great that humans are being killed for food left and right.
Hmm.
So perhaps she really does, in her own way, love the kids,
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah,
and
yeah.
wants them to live a happy life at least
All right.
while
Yeah,
they're alive.
I think that's a good point. The issue I have though is that the way that the show trying to frame her face is really like over the top. It's really like the witch, basically. Like how the witch expression whenever they doing bad things, they whenever they do the laugh thing. That that that's what my impression with Isabella when she say those stuff.
Well, there have been much more like sinister. She's given much more sinister faces to some of the kids.
Yeah.
I remember in an early episode when it's her versus Emma in a hallway, I think, and she's trying to get Emma to, tell the truth or confess that she's plotting an
Mm,
escape.
right.
She like looks down at her like a hawk.
Yeah. Well, that was alright. Like a hawk is was alright. The way that she treat Ray, for example, in this episode was really like uh use him and then just push him aside.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
I mean
Well,
he's a double agent.
yeah. That's right.
He's hers to use, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the way their plan just disintegrated so
Mm.
easily.
Mm.
Like what hope do they possibly have? They really did seem like children in this episode, just like a bunch of kids. She just locks them in a room, easy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see how they gonna escape. We still have 4 5 more episodes until we can see them escape or not.
All right, let's
So
do it.
yeah. So let's see. But I do say that I really enjoyed the last episodes. Even with all its flaws, I still like it.
I don't know, like it was all right, but the show, it was trying to ramp things up as best it could near the end, but I don't
Mhm.
know. I feel like it just kind of moved the goalposts back.
Huh. Well,
Like, now it's Norman instead of Ray who's going to be shipped out next.
all right.
Emma ended up with a broken leg, and did anything else change? I guess Crone is dead, but that seemed like an entirely
Oh,
separate episode almost.
all right. I think this is the stage where they hit the rock bottom. So it's like it's normal to assume that they're gonna be like after this everything had to be up, had to be more positive, right?
I mean, if not, they're going to die, so for
Yeah.
their sake, I guess. Hopefully so.
All right. Uh, are you alright with if we move to the next show?
I'm all right.
Kaguya-sama.
I'm okay.
All right. Let's go to Kaguya-sama.
Okay.
I enjoy
Good episode.
I enjoy these episodes. Well, while it's not something really new about the episode, I still enjoy like the three segment of that.
We got a new character.
Yeah, the new characters. I like her.
Yeah.
Shirogen is
She's got a nice ribbon in her hair.
I,
Kind of
I,
elaborate. Whenever she was on screen, I was just like staring at the ribbon.
I was a bit a bit not sure why Shirogan have like the blonde hair and his sister having like silver hair. So at first I thought like the show would like would trick us into thinking that this is Shirogan's sister, and then turn out that it's someone completely different. But it wasn't the case.
Oh, that didn't occur to me at all.
Well, because
I mean, children can have different hair colors even when they come from the same parent.
well, but like in anime especially, usually like s- brothers and sister, they tend to have the same hair colors
Really?
and the same hairstyle.
Isn't the trope that in anime, boys have the same hair color as their mothers, and then girls have the same hair color as their father? Like it kind
Uh,
of swaps, and they have two kids.
all right, all right. Let's say if you remember Monogatari, you will see like the sister have the same hairstyle as uh, Araragi.
I only saw
Or
Bake, so I'm not sure. Did I don't think I even met the sisters, did I?
well, the sister was the one who waking up every morning. So yeah, you see the glimpse of them.
Oh, I guess I just blocked out the scene where the little sister wakes up the older brother from my memory.
All right, let's see. Let's think of any other shows.
I'm just thinking about like in oftentimes in what's the word that I'm looking for? Epilogues. Like after an anime is finished and there's an epilogue, like two
Yeah,
main
yeah.
characters will get paired together and then they'll have a boy and a girl and then the boy will have the mother's hair and then the girl will have the father's
Huh,
hair.
that's lame. That's not the way genetic uh, does, but well, that's anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the episodes. I think she's a good addition to the cast. I still hope the show could flesh her out more because really like her interaction with between her and Kaguya was a bit um short. I guess they
Yeah.
didn't really talk to each other much.
Well, I think that's by design because she's so she can't hold a conversation with Kaguya. She's so nervous around her. And also so much of the episode was spent in Kaguya's head.
Yeah.
Like all of her fantasies about getting closer to Shirogane through his sister.
Well, actually, that's the thing that I love the most about this the entire episodes. The voice in the head. So like in the first segment, we have like the voice narration of Kaguya, where she really think of some. She really thinking far ahead, and then the present just come crushing her down. And even like in the second episodes where the two of them trying to do the task, and in the third one also I really love the voiceover and what's going on in the head.
It's mostly the narrator, I think, in the
Yeah,
second and the third.
that's right. That's right. That's correct. I love.
Yeah.
I still love them though.
Who's them?
The narrations
Ah.
and the voice in the head.
Yeah, they're good,
Yeah,
which is important because so much of the show is spent. So much of the dialogue is delivered in that fashion.
yeah, that's right.
Or I guess it's not dialogue at
So
that point. It's monologue.
yeah, monologue. Yep. Yeah, I love the way she's just thinking about getting close to Shirogane's brothers,
Yeah.
Shinogare sisters, in order to get into the household, and like every time the other club member will do something that completely uh you know goes
Ruins her plan.
yeah, ruins her plan. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And usually it's Fujiwara. And then
That's
she
right.
thinks that Fujiwara is like, like the lowest life form there is.
Yep.
And then she invites her to go out shopping with them and she's like, I knew I loved you. I loved you all along. I knew there was a reason we were friends.
I started to think that the biggest nemesis of Kaguya is Fujiwara. She
Oh,
have
that's
everything that Kaguya doesn't have.
yeah, that's true. But that's she's only her biggest nemesis in her own head.
that's,
In Kaguya's own imagination.
that's right.
I mean, unless and until Fujiwara actually develops a crush on the president.
Which I don't think that's gonna be the case.
I don't know. I kind of feel as though we're we're in for some sort of love square or love pentagon or something because we got the
Uh,
episode, the third segment, like kind of a flashback
yep.
before the exams, like the time leading up to the exams. We got Kaguya and Ishigami together,
Yep.
and then the girls in the library are kind of gossiping about them, like, oh, what's Kaguya doing with him? Well, what do you think she's doing with him? They're just rumors are flying around left and right.
Yeah.
Um, and Ishigami's afraid of her, and that would be an interesting That would be an interesting relationship to turn into like a one-sided crush or something.
Yeah.
I
Well,
feel like the show will probably go there eventually, maybe.
I hope the show doesn't go that way though. I especially for Fujiwara, I just like her at herself right now. The one that who can do the visual very properly. Oh
Well,
my god.
how long if she never gets like a romantic interest or anything, and she just ends up being the quirky side character?
Which is good.
How long are you gonna like that?
Well, I still like that now. I wouldn't mind to see her like that for the entire season.
Well, sure.
Basically,
There's only 4 episodes left, but there might be a second season. You know,
yeah, that
you
might
just want
be.
her to play the goofy sidekick the entire time for
Mm,
as long as the manga runs, as long
all
as the
right. If
show.
if if she fall in love with someone, I hope it's not the triangle or the or even more. So I hope she not stand in the way between Shirogane and Kaguya.
They stand in each other's way in their own way,
Yeah, that's
plenty
that's right.
already.
So they don't need any like external uh obstacle anymore.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess you're right. It's fine. I like Fujiwara's character and the role that she plays right now, but I do like in terms of predicting what's going to happen. I think that
Mm,
something like that might crop up,
right.
even if it's just for a short time and is um, more comedic than romantic.
All right. How about Fujiwara and Ishigami?
Uh,
Nope.
I don't really feel any spark there, but it's early days.
Yeah. Well.
We've only
Well.
known his character for 3 episodes now.
Yeah. But to say the least, that I really like the chemistry developed between Ishigami and Kaguya. In the last segment.
Yeah,
I like the way that by the end his perception of Kaguya changed a bit
well, it did for a while, but
for
then
a
the
while.
last thing that he thinks about her is she's terrifying after all.
Yeah, well,
He's always afraid of her.
it's a gag comedy all the way. So yeah, everything reserved back to the status quo.
Yeah, but that's all right.
That's alright. I don't mind.
So he was a problem child in middle school, and he was always
Yeah,
absent, like he was truant.
they actually said that, but when they have like the picture of him in the middle school, he looked unlike any other problem child. He looked like a normal kid.
Yeah, well, he still looked kind of gloomy, but he didn't have the gigantic hair,
Yeah.
the bangs covering one eye. So I guess by comparison, that makes him look more normal than he does now.
Yep.
Still, he didn't look like the happiest, most well-adjusted kid of all time.
No.
He
Well,
was probably too busy playing video games, you know.
that's right. That's right. Well, I do think that I'm warming up with like all the characters, especially Ishigami. Hopefully, though, he can do something else that make me want to watch more of him.
He's doing other things. Like he helped Shirogane's little sister because she's the treasurer of the middle school.
Yeah, I like that bit. I actually like
He
that bit.
yeah.
I just don't like every time that we see him, we will see his like his anti-socialness. His hating every other normal kid because
I thought
they
that was go ahead.
yeah, because they were happy and he isn't, or he's scared of Kaguya. So like if they keep showing other side of him, I will be glad to see that.
Yeah. Um, I think they're doing an all right job with him.
Mm. Yep,
Those two traits were how he was introduced, and
that's right. That's right.
so they'll move away from them gradually rather than all at once, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got some comments the first time that the first episode where he showed up,
Yep.
I mentioned that it was like ease up a little bit on the afraid of Kaguya stuff,
Yep.
and everybody came to his defense like that's not that doesn't even matter. It's not even a big part of his character.
Yeah.
So after 100 and something chapters, whatever we're at now, maybe
That
he's
that is the
gotten
case.
over it. Yeah,
Some maybe he get obsessed or he just afraid of other girls rather than Kaguya.
maybe,
Maybe.
but
Oh,
that'd be sad because he
yeah.
obviously, you know,
That'd be sad, you say?
it would be sad if he were afraid of women.
All right.
Yeah, to become like the super stereotypical
All
nerd
right.
who can't talk to
I'm,
girls.
I'm, I'm actually thinking of a new pair between Zero and his sister and him. Would be nice.
She's in middle school, my man.
Like if we come to next year or the year after, she would be in high school.
Yeah. He's
So
a first year, right? Everyone else is a second year
that's
in the
right.
student
That's right.
council. Is that right?
That's
Okay.
that's right.
Maybe they did that on purpose so that he would eventually get together with Shirogane sister. Hey, you might be
Yeah.
onto something there. That
Yay.
might be the reason, like the reason that the author set up their ages that way.
Maybe.
And they're both treasurers.
Oh, maybe yes. Huh. Oh
You
yes,
cracked the
that's
code.
right. Yay. All right. You have any other note for Kaguya-sama?
Um, I don't know. Not really.
All right.
We can skip to. We're already at an hour here.
An
I
hour.
want to go.
All right.
I want to go back to bed for a bit.
All right. So let's get to the final volume of Power Evolves. After for how long? I think after for like 3 months with reading the manga. It's
Yeah, something
supposed to
like
be
that.
only just like 12 volume, but we skip
Jeez.
for many weeks. So that's
Well,
like
that means
three,
it's
four
been going
months.
longer than 3 months. Yeah, but we
Yeah.
we
So
made
like
it. We got it. We're here.
so like after all this time, we made it.
After all this time, we're finally back to walking the path that everyone chooses to walk.
All right. So Kaguya met
Kasuga?
Kaguya, is it? Kasuga.
Kasuga.
Sorry, Kasuga. Um, meet Nakamura for the very last time, and maybe they never see each other again.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this meeting?
The meeting in chapter 53 and 54.
Right.
Um,
Is it long? Is it short? Is it overwhelming? Is it underwhelming? Is it just about right?
I mean, in chapter 54 was one of the longest chapters, so I wouldn't say that it was short necessarily.
Yep.
I don't know. Like, man,
Like, how do you feel in general?
I don't really feel anything about it. Is
That's the worst.
their conversation is really disjointed, like
Destroyed. All right.
disjointed. Like for example,
Destroyed. It. I
oh,
think
it
that's
was for
on
you.
purpose,
It's
though,
destroyed.
because no.
I'm
just
saying the
mean,
word disjointed.
all right. For me, that word intentional doubt because Nakamura doesn't really like straight out answer any of Kasuga questions.
Yeah, like at one point he asks, "What about you?" Like how are you? And she says, "Well then, good luck," and turns to leave.
Yes, that's Nakamura.
Not really. I mean, in the past she's been way more lucid and has,
All right.
responded to questions and asked questions of her own and like held conversations, even though she was being her weird, asocial self. But here he asks her like a direct question, "What about you?" And she doesn't answer and says, "Well then, good luck," and turns around to leave. Like I didn't. Was that just a mistranslation on the scanlator's part, or?
I have no idea. I didn't have the last volume of my book, so I
Right.
had to read that online as well. But I could take that as remember the final chapters where
The
she
very
feel
last one.
the very last one but she feel like she being consumed by, like by the ugliness, the fly, the bug, whatever that is. It trying to consume her,
Yeah.
and then she see Kasuga doing this act, and then she feel like, like she being alive again. So I think this is the stage where she, like, after a few years, she being consumed by that. So that, like, all her desires, I think, is gone now. That she become more stable now, and doesn't really want to, like, express herself anymore. So that's why I think she just, when Kasuga approached her, she just, like, just doesn't, can't let herself out anymore. So I think
She
that
can't let herself what?
she can let her feeling out anymore. So I think that's why when she answered them really vaguely, not straight to the point, or anything.
Okay.
That's my
Well,
take of it anyway.
gotcha. Uh, okay. Well, all right.
All right. So
And then they end up fighting on the beach.
and I think that's why that's what made Kasuga was so angry, because he came up all the way to see her, and she just, like, she doesn't really, she did acknowledge him, but she doesn't really let out her feeling or anything. She just see her like, she just see him like a normal guy, So that's why he got angry, and then he trying to beat her up, basically.
Right.
So
Well,
that too.
he was already angry with her because he says to Tokiwa, "I don't know whether I want to hold her or kill her."
Yeah, that's right.
And this is when they're planning on going to her hometown to meet her.
And I think that is their, like, raw chemistry together. So because, like normal conversation couldn't work for them anymore. So they want to try to doing something more extreme, more violent. That's why she trying to beat her, and then she beat him up, and then, like, somehow they communicate, by that way.
Somehow they communicate
Like
through the power of their fists.
yeah, they communicate their feeling to each other through the power of the fish. Yes.
Nice.
If my explanation is vague, it because the whole scene, they didn't really tell us anything. I think it let it more to live up more into our own interpretation.
Well, the thing that I get from a scene like that, where I mean they end up fighting on the beach,
Hmm.
um, and I mean the beach is where the idea that we all emerged from the ocean,
Hmm.
that all life emerged from the ocean,
Hmm.
um, and there's the connection to the moon with the tides that come in and out. It's supposed to be like very primal,
Hmm.
and the way that they communicate by fighting as well is very um, primal too. So it's supposed to be like both of them communicating via their base instincts,
Yeah, yeah.
like as they once did,
Hmm. That's a good
with all
explanation.
all the stuff that they got up to back in their old town. But the thing is, even though I think that's what we're supposed to get from that scene, the fact that the manga for so long has been recreating or creating like this dream world for Kasuga to live in, that
Hmm.
feels like the opposite of what happens in this chapter. Like for chapters and chapters now, 20 of them maybe or more, I don't know. Um, he's been, slowly getting back to quote unquote normal, but the new normal for the series is like just a high school show where there's some girl that he likes and whatever. And so then he goes to the beach and we're supposed to feel like this is totally raw,
Hmm.
but I just don't get that at all. It just feels like they're it feels like two kids playing. I don't know. I just didn't really get any kind of feeling from this scene at all.
All right.
And
I
then she tells him, "Don't come back because you're a normal person." Like, what are you talking about? I thought this
Yeah.
manga was called Flowers of Evil, not Field of like Meadow of Beautiful Flowers. I,
Well, I think the point is that Nakamura is not a normal person, and
well, neither is Kasuga,
no,
and
no, no.
we've
So
we've
so
we've forgotten that.
all right, all right. So that's why I think the point of the manga as a whole is that except for Nakamura, everyone else is the normal person. So even Kasuga, even Saiki, that they did like go through some shit. They did like behave out of their mind. They did like behave very sickly as well, and very what the word, destructively. But like at the end, that's make the person who they are now. So that's why they can reverse back to normal life, because they all have like the good side and the bad side, and you know they can balance that out. But for Nakamura itself, she just see the problem child, and she just doesn't see eh, doesn't see things as normal people, as normal child thing. And we see that by the last chapter. So like
Right,
I think there's still a lie that the difference between Nakamura and say Ka- Kasuga
right.
and Saiki.
Wait, so you're saying that everyone is normal except for Nakamura?
Yeah, I would say so, especially from the three of them.
But
Kasu,
the manga's called
all
Flowers of
right,
Evil. Isn't
all
wasn't the
right,
point of like the entire first half to demonstrate that everyone is actually twisted and perverted and has that potential inside of them?
all right. I think
But
that
it
that
was
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's the point of the the first half. But then the second half is like another point that even though if they care, if they doing on this bad thing, they can still reverse back to normal because
I don't
they're
know. I just thought that the manga was making a statement about what normal really was. That
mhm,
normal doesn't mean going about living your life like a quote unquote normal person. There is no normal. That's just a societal construct.
mhm,
And the true normal is that we all have that potential for wickedness and darkness in our hearts. But
yep,
now, instead, we have Kasuga's magical playland for the entire second half of the manga, and the only thing that's not normal is Nakamura. It's like the manga just walked in a gigantic circle and ended up back where it started without like, and even all the footprints that it left as it took that journey are gone.
mhm, yeah.
Not
Well,
uh, not great for me.
all right. Well, so I'm in the opinion that I think the first half is much better than the second half. The second half was always too slow for me. The second half does they provide something else, so that it does add up to the first half, but it's not by that much. I still think like if the manga keep the first half only, and maybe expand the ending a little bit, it would be turn out to be a much stronger show in general. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I don't really think anything.
Yeah,
I
you don't really
just
care.
yeah, like the last chapter with Nakamura's her her vision, I thought
Yep.
it was very interesting. It was very cool on a
Mm-hmm.
visual level that even her perception of like solid surfaces and flat lines, like rooms for example, is totally distorted.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, and everything is dirty. There are flies everywhere, even coming out of people's mouths.
Yep.
Everyone is just an amorphous black shape, not even a shape, just kind of a void. Um,
Yep.
I mean, I thought that was all really cool looking, and it was an interesting way to visualize whatever condition she has. But that's the thing, it makes her perspective so different from everyone else's that
Yep.
it kind of erases the idea that everyone has evil, the potential for evil inside of them, and it
Mm.
just like singles her out and pushes her as far away from Kasuga and from everyone else as it possibly can. And that's not what I got from the first half of the series.
Mm.
I mean, everybody had some sort of darkness in them in the first half, whether it be Kasuga, who was, acting lewdly with Psyche's uniform and was so easily corrupted by Nakamura because he was like ready.
Mm.
He was ready to do that the whole time. He just needed a little push.
Yep.
And then Psyche's the pressure that she felt from everyone, bringing out like her obsessive tendencies, and the obvious difficulties that like his parents were having, and the way that all his classmates were framed as kind of disgusting and crass and base. Like
Yep.
that was all really great.
Mhm.
But that the second half is just like, oh, don't worry, everybody's a good person. Everybody's everybody's normal. Everybody walks the right path, except for Nakamura. But here's a fight on the beach, so
And she
you're
doing fine, she was calm lately. All right.
yeah. Well, that's I don't know. I don't mind so much the fact that she's living with her mother now and she's calmed down, because that's like if her mother knows how to control her, and if she's in an environment where there's not going to be anything to trigger any sort of
Ugliness.
negative behavior, yeah, ugliness, then that's okay if that's where her character is at for the moment. But just what, like chapter 56 or 55 and 56, that's where we learn all about the character's ultimate fates. Like,
Mhm.
he marries Tokiwa and they have a baby,
Oh
and then Psyche has a couple kids, and then Nakamura eventually reunites with her father.
no, I think it's just a dream. It's not a flash
What?
forward. It's just a dream from Kasuga, because like later on you see him wake up from the dream and he want to write it something.
I thought the only dream was the him standing in a field of flowers, and then
That's
the giant flower of evil, which is missing its eye.
that
So he
also part of the dream as well.
wait, hold on.
So like the whole big flash forwards when like we can see like the flower leaf or the flowers something. The flower just keep um transitioning from one character to the others. I think uh that's the dream. That's like the
So
hopeful dream.
wait, all the stuff with him like getting that job where he's on the phone at the office, and then
Yeah, that's just a
and then
dream.
they have the shop. Wait, are you see? Wait, I think you're right, dude. I'm seeing all the little petals from the flower of evil, like kind of connecting
Yeah, yeah, that's
all
right,
of
that's
this
right.
stuff. Oh shit, I misinterpreted all of this.
And then he
And
he
then,
wake and then like we have the scene where he wake up from all that.
well, yeah, okay. So then we see his future, Psyche's future, and Nakamura's future, and then we
Mhm.
also in the dream we see him writing some characters on a page, and there's the shot of him like at a desk with a whole bunch of crumpled up papers and regular papers around him.
Yeah, I
And
think that's
then
all the dreams.
okay, and then Nakamura looks up,
And
and
then
and
Psyche
all the
met
there's
eyed.
that double page where all the flowers, all the petals are like streaming down from above,
All right, yeah. And then
and then
it, he
he
wake
wakes
up.
up.
Yeah, and then he wakes up.
Oh damn. Okay, so that didn't actually none of that actually happened.
That didn't actually happen, but
But
it might
he
as
has the
well.
same haircut
Yeah,
as he did in chapter 55.
but it might as well. If we see, if we learn anything from the end of this, is that might as well be happen in the future.
You think so?
Yeah, like Suki Gakure, like they get married at the end. See.
Well, that's a totally different series. You keep trying to draw parallels between this show and Tsukigakure, but they're really not that similar. They both take place in a school. That's about it. Okay, so yeah. And he puts his pen to the pencil to the paper. Okay, so that's all a dream. Damn. All right. Well, I that's good, I guess.
All
I can
right.
still I can still imagine that everything ended terribly.
All right. We have a happy ending at the end. Not that I expected though. I think this kind of series could do it if have like a very downer ending.
This kind of series could or couldn't.
Could it could work well if it have a downer ending.
I think like in order to get that sort of ending, I think that it might have needed to like for Kasuga and Nakamura to just like run away to actually leave the town
Yeah.
where they felt they were trapped, like to go over the hill and to like I don't know, live in the wilderness
Yeah.
or something.
Well, I actually think that if the anime they they adapted the manga, I think they would have some chances with that.
Chances with what?
With I with how the manga going, so I think they would add more down the stuff. I think they would change it. I trust the directors of the anime who, who
Wait,
who would do something different to the manga
but wasn't
version.
the anime adaptation like really faithful? As I was reading the
Yeah,
manga, I remembered a lot of that stuff happening in the anime,
it,
like
it
pretty much exactly.
it was really faithful, but it also meant it to do the second season, which had never came to materialize.
Right.
So
Damn,
yeah,
I didn't get that it was a dream. Whoops. Yeah. So the visual clue is that the the flower.
we have like the flowers. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that got me was like chapter 56 opens with him standing in that meadow of flowers,
Hmm. Hmm.
and he's naked in his dream, and he looks up and he sees the flower of evil, which is missing its eye. So I thought that was supposed to represent that like it doesn't have control over him anymore.
Oh, do you remember when he confronted Nakamura, and there was a time that her eyeball was looking up.
Yeah, she rolled both of her eyes like up.
Is it
That
is
a whole page was given just to that one panel.
Yeah? Is it trying to represent the eyeball of the flower peoples?
Yeah, I kind of got that sense,
Mm.
but it was bizarre.
It was
Like
bizarre. It was really bizarre.
I assumed she was looking at the sun that was setting,
Mhm.
or rising, whatever time of day it was. But it was weird that she was suddenly like looking up and away. That contributed to the feeling of disjointedness that I got
Yeah,
from their
that's right.
conversation. Um, yeah, but I got that same sense, like it was supposed to be a callback to that on a visual level. But the thing that got me, that tricked me into thinking that the rest of it was reality and that this was a dream, or that only the first part was a dream, is that he's standing in the meadow, and then there's a couple panels where everything starts to like blur when it's focusing on
Yep.
his eyes.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I thought that was him waking up.
Huh. Yeah. Well,
It's on page 10 of chapter 56. And then the very next scene is like it looks completely different. It's like Tokiwa, with her new haircut. She's reading something in a book.
yep.
And she's got like tears in her eyes and she looks really proud. I didn't get whether that like his work that had been published,
Maybe.
or was it hers?
I just know that the book that was public was her, but the thing that she read might be his.
Okay. Cuz she looks over at him, and she's blushing and she's got tears in her eyes, and then she hugs him and they both look happy. But I mean, he's not the writer, she is.
Yep, that's right.
So,
Oh yeah, and then he I remember they have like the conversations between her and him. That she said like you are the writer. I'm not as good as writer as you are. So he also wanted to write something. I think.
yeah. Maybe she was looking at his work had been published then.
maybe.
Okay. Well, neat. All right, I definitely got that wrong.
All right. So in the end, you didn't like it very much, right?
What, the whole thing?
The whole thing, yeah.
No, I thought it was okay. It held my attention all the way through.
Hmm. Oh,
It wasn't boring to me.
all right. Glad to hear
Um,
that.
but
So you,
I don't know.
you,
I didn't like the second half very much. I don't think it just seemed too like constructed to be perfect for Kasuga and to be just like totally redeeming and like nice for
hmm,
him.
yeah. I think I said this before, but like reading this manga again, I can see like many of the decisions from the anime were actually better than I original thought. Like on these like 10 minutes of just two people walking from one end to the other, it
You know, a
adds
lot
to
of people
the
hated that.
atmosphere. Yeah. I original didn't really fun of that either. But now when I think about that, it adds so much to the atmosphere. Like like the anime, it was very good of pulling out the fear, the uncertainty of like of him just keep spiral down of of darkness. I like that, from the
Right.
manga. You sometimes you don't really get that feel compared to the
Yeah.
anime.
Well, the thing with manga is that you read it at your own pace.
Yeah.
And anime, unless you watch it sped up or fast forward through it or click through it or something,
Mhm.
you're locked into the director's pace.
That's right.
And
And
I remember liking like that scene where they're just walking home in episode 8 after the destruction of the classroom.
yeah,
I was like I towards the end I started to get impatient,
well,
because it was long, but at the same time as it was happening I was like this is really ballsy. Like this is not a
it
common
is.
decision at all. This is I'm interested by this.
And do you also remember the director of this series,
Like his name?
like his name, like
No.
what he did before?
What
All
else
right,
did he do?
let me just remind you. He did this. He did Mushishi.
Oh, it's this guy.
That
He
is
did a whole
this
bunch
guy,
of stuff, right?
and he did the failed superheroes from 2 years ago.
The
Um,
what?
the reflection.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So this guy,
This guy doesn't give a fuck.
yeah, he actually pretty good.
Hiroshi Nagahama, this guy.
Yeah, I think there is another famous series that he did as well. Just let's let me have
Oh,
a quick
he's
look.
one of the directors on Rinshi Ekoda-chan.
Oh
He's
yeah. Oh, is
one
it?
of the 12 directors. Yeah. I don't think we've seen this guy yet. I don't think
All
his
right.
episode has happened yet.
Interesting.
He did mechanical design for Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Huh. All right.
Huh. Oh, now and then, here and there, he did work on
Oh,
that
and
as an
and
anim.
and he did the director of Detroit Metal City, which is your
Oh,
favorite comedy
my
of all
favorite
time.
anime comedy. Yes,
So yes, he does a lot of interesting stuff.
he's an eclectic man. Interesting. All right. Well, I wonder what he would have made out of the second and third parts of Flowers of Evil.
Yeah, it would have been good. I I actually still a bit mixed about the decision of doing the live action and trace back to animation. What was that technical called?
Rotoscoping.
Rotoscoping. I still mix on that though. But apart from that, I think his direction is really very excellent. It's pull out like the best thing, the best theme, the best atmosphere from the manga. It's
Yeah,
just very good.
yeah. It definitely had a sense of paranoia and nervousness to the work that he did.
Right. All right. So this is the end of our podcast. Next week we're gonna do the new series on our classic anime, which is Gunbuster.
Wait, are
And
we wrapping this episode up?
yes, you
I
still have anything else to talk? Sorry.
Yeah, just the last chapter in particular,
All
because
right. Sorry.
I
Sorry.
only mentioned like how it looked.
Yep.
What do
We can
I'm
go.
just wonder like briefly what is Nakamura's what's up with her?
Uh,
What condition does she have? What
she just feel detached from the world to the
Yeah, but
point that like I think the loneliness and everything just consume her up.
but do you think she literally sees things this way?
I think she literally sitting this way.
You think she literally sees flies in people's mouths and
That's why she
she
always said like shit bug and stuff.
right. So if that's the case, then she has like an unbelievably rare mental disorder.
Yeah. Yes. Oh well, I think it's also more of like more of symbolism, right?
Wait,
Symbolism.
but that's what I just asked though. Like, do you think she literally
All
sees
right.
those things?
All right. If I see
Because
more
if
of like symbolism or literary, I think it's more like literary. She see these things herself.
yikes, that's terrible.
Yeah. Well, that's why she just want to get out of that world. That one she despise everyone else. So I can see that happen.
Well, if this is the case, like, shouldn't I don't know? Kasuga's the main character, but shouldn't there have been like much more attention
Focus.
paid to her? Because
Well,
in like the story just says the story just like fucks off to be about him and Tokiwa for like a long time, and she's not forgotten, but we don't see her, hear from
yeah,
her, really think about her very much. But she is, if this is the way she perceives things, and this is how what her life is, then she's in
yep.
so much pain all the time, and it just
That's right.
feels
That's right.
wrong
Well,
for this story to like take this gigantic detour when
all
she
right.
is
So,
dying.
all right. Two things. First, this is has always been Kasuga stories. It starts with Kasuga, it's follow Kasuga, and maybe it's
Yeah,
not
but I
end with Kasuga, but like we have like all this development from Kasuga.
but I don't care. Like
Uh,
if this is her world and this is her reality, then I don't care about him. Like he's unimportant and uninteresting.
And secondly, I think the way she act for the first half is like feel like she always in pain. So that explain a lot.
Yeah,
So I think
that's
that one of the reasons why she wanted to she always wanted to peel the skin out of him. Maybe because he see only shit bug like in him, so he just want to peel all that.
maybe the maybe when she says skin, what she's talking about is that like black layer
Of
of
bugs,
nothingness that seems to surround everybody.
right? Yeah, maybe is the case. So yeah, I think the final chapter is actually pretty good. It gives you a perspective of Nakamura that you know by that you think that you know more about her.
It's just like the final scene with her at the beach.
Yep.
I wasn't left very satisfied with it. So then to have this bomb dropped on me in the last chapter is just like is frustrating
All right. Huh.
because it recontextualizes everything that happened.
It
Um,
doesn't for me.
it doesn't.
It doesn't. No.
Oh, okay.
It
I don't
I
know.
just feel
It
sad
just
for her.
pushes her so far to the left of everyone else, or so
That's
far to the right, whatever direction you prefer.
that's right. That's right. It does like differentiate her from everyone else. So hence my previous take from everything else, but it shouldn't be because like you said, it's more about like how normal people can be corrupted by the dark force.
Yeah.
But it's it I think it's also more like Nakamura is the Dark Force herself.
Yeah, but that's one thing that I really don't like about it is that the I thought the idea was to question normalcy.
Mhm.
Like Nakamura was causing the people around her to behave differently and to question what normal meant.
Mhm.
Like Psyche was, rather than just pretending all the time to be the person people thought she was or thought she should be, instead she was going to act based on her her true feelings and her obsessions.
Mhm. Mhm.
um I like, but in the end, like, Nakamura is just an outlier, just sees things differently and is essentially just weird, you know and everybody else
Excuse me.
is normal. I don't really, I can't really get down with that sort of resolution.
All right. Um, despite the fact that everyone just looking up, everyone just looking like brighter in the future, I think that Nakamura is gonna be getting worse in the future.
If she still sees things that way.
It's I think she still see things that way. She just more like like she used to be frustrated and angry about that. Now she just more like she accepted all that.
Why did she say that the remember in chapter 53,
Yeah.
uh Kasuga brings up the fact that she had mentioned when on the night when they were going to kill themselves, she says like the night is so beautiful, the night
Yep.
sky, and then she says something else, something similar about like the sky by the shore, the sunset or the sunrise, I can't remember.
Yeah. Um. Don't know. I think it's more meant to be like this is the side of the other side, right? Like the or the sunsets or the sunrise or this night sky is from the other side. So they are from this side looking from the other side and think that the other side is beautiful. And maybe she still think of it
why
this way. I'm, I'm,
why would
I'm,
she
I don't know how to make of that scene either.
why would she think, if this is the way she sees the world, why would she think that anything is beautiful? I'm
Huh.
just trying to imagine, like, when she saw that night skyline,
Yep.
when she and Kasuga were planning to end their lives. What did she see that she thought was beautiful? What did she perceive?
Maybe it's peaceful there.
Like, she views the sky as the other world, like a place where she's free from whatever suffering she's experiencing.
As in it doesn't have any conflict in there by itself.
And no bugs.
No bugs. That's right. It's just
No, like, swarms of insects.
yeah, it's just clear. The sky is clear. The moon is bright. All this stuff. One thing that I really appreciate though on their last meeting is that nothing is spelled out, or all their conflict, or the thing that they say, we have to interpret them ourselves, and it depends on each of us to interpret like different ways. So I
Wait,
appreciate that. It's still very vaguely though. I read that like
yeah.
too many times. I still couldn't get uh, what they try to convey, and I don't think that what I about to what I was saying was like correct or not, was their intention or not.
Yeah. I mean, it is nice that it's left open to interpretation. I appreciate that sort of thing. But if the direction, the artistic direction is not sufficiently strong, then
Mm.
sometimes you just end up with confusion rather than a
That's
clear a clear sense of, authorial purpose.
that's right, because like sometimes when I reread those scenes, I don't know if like if it meant to be something, anything at all. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, to be honest, that's like a terrible feeling.
That's right.
Not just for the reader to experience, but as like a sign of what's behind the work. If you're just like, huh? If there's just like a big question mark
Yeah.
above your head during some chapters, pages, whatever, that's a problem for me.
Yeah. But
So
well, I do know that there was some raw chemistry going on there. Just couldn't make out like each of these, lies they say have to mean something, or even
Yeah,
if it mean anything.
I don't know. I kind of feel as though in the last chapter she is so ambivalent about what's going on.
Mm.
She sees that he's Kasuga's together with Tokiwa, and like how does she feel about that? I assume
I
I don't know. I don't get much of a feeling from her at all in the
I th-
last chapter.
all
So I
right.
assume that's what she's feeling is like not much. She doesn't really
Yeah,
care that he's together with her.
I think that intentional that she doesn't say anything because she doesn't feel anything until when Kasuga trying to drag her out and kick her.
Right.
That was when she felt something, so she respond back. But then like the scene afterward, we can see just like a very brief moment of her laughing,
Yeah,
and that's
they
it.
all end up laughing together. That was really weird.
No, I think that there was like a string of um, emotional progression there, but I could I can get my hand off. I can figure that like how how they come how they become like that,
Yeah.
which is a bit frustrating for me as well. But it is
Well,
something that I can keep like keep reading back, and maybe I can somehow get that in the next
you
five ten
probably have
years.
to experience something in your own life that'll make you understand how a girl who sees bugs everywhere and two quote unquote normal people could end up attacking each other and then laughing about it on a beach.
Yeah,
That's a major,
like first
turning point in every person's life. We all have to experience that ourselves.
no, first the enemy, then we are pal. It's like it's like the very textbook of every shonen book.
From enemies to best friends.
Yeah, from enemy to best friends. Like having a battle together with against each other, and you will understand each other more,
Right.
and then you
I always
become
knew
best
that
pal.
Flowers of Evil was a shonen series.
Oh, I didn't know until like the very last chapter.
All
Damn
right.
it.
Well, I would say the manga kept me interested, and I don't think it was bad, but I'm pretty disappointed in some some decisions that it made later on.
Mm.
But
All
that's
right.
good. If you feel disappointed, then that means that you had some interest in it. You had some expectations and some hopes for it. So that's not
Yeah.
in the end that's not a bad thing.
All right. Before we read this manga, I I did have a better perception to the second to the last half than now. Now after I reading that, after like discussing with you for every week, I feel like the second half, although it's necessary, was still come off as weak compared to like the first half. The
Yeah, well,
first
I
half is
mean,
the selling point for
Nakamura
me.
disappears, so she's the best.
Yep. All right.
She
All right.
she goes.
I still like Saki myself, so
She's crazy.
she's alright. I can understand how she become like that.
Yeah, I suppose so.
All
It was
right.
Nakamura's corrupting influence.
That's right.
It's
That's
all her
right.
fault.
That because of all the bullshit that she see.
Don't worry, everybody. If you're out there, you're listening to this, and you've ever done anything inappropriate, indecent, I'm sure it was just like a classmate of yours that made you do it. It was their influence. Don't worry, you're a good person.
Don't
You're a
worry.
normal person. Don't worry. There is a girl waiting for you at the end of the rainbow.
Avoid.
Or boy. Yeah. No
Uh,
judgments.
all right. W- all right. What do you rate of like the whole things as a whole?
Oh, I don't rate it ever anything. Like
No. Just not like the rating scores. It's just like how you feel in general.
it was okay.
All right. It,
I thought it was
oh,
I was
you said
interested
that.
but
What?
disappointed in the end.
All right. Good. All right. Should we wrap up now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks for indulging me.
So the next week we're gonna get the new series for the classic anime, which is Gunbuster by our same old Ganex again.
Yeah, Hideaki Anno's first work as a director.
Yep. And if after 6 episodes and we still like it, we will watch its sequel, which is Gunbuster. But that for another 6 weeks to see.
Yeah.
All
Stay
right.
tuned, everybody.
Thanks for listening, and we see you next week.
Bye bye.
Thank you.